Do you ever think about that kid at school who always sat in the back of the classroom and never really spoke up, and whenever they did, they were very soft-spoken and stuttered a lot? They were pretty much invisible most of the school year. Well, hello, here I am.
Who would have thought? Not me.
Back in high school, I was the co-president of a club called Kiwins, and I remember before the term started, the other co-president dragged me out and told me to my face, Chloe, you can't be co-president. You don't even know how to speak. All you do is stutter. You're gonna hold us back and you're gonna be a bump in this road. And she bullied me out of this position because I sucked at speaking. And that was 100% a core memory that fueled this flame within me to overcome my fear of public speaking. In college, I joined this leadership nonprofit called GLOW, the Global Leadership Organization, and I became a certified counselor and coached public speaking. Through that, I did a bunch of large-scale presentations at conferences, so it's been a long journey, but it's really cool to see the evolution of this shy, soft-spoken Chloe into who she is today. Speaking skills come in handy in all kinds of things in your life, like speeches, presentations, work meetings, interviews, you name it. So let's think about this in the context of a speech. There are 3 main components of a good speech: content, vocal expression, and body movement. Poll, which of these do you think leaves the biggest impression? Tricky, huh? I know y'all academics be like, content is king, and the theater people be like, definitely it's vocal expression. But no, actually according to this study by Professor Marabian, I don't know how to say the name, body movement contributes the most at a whopping 55%, with vocal expression next at 35% and content at 7%. So remember, as you're heading back to the office or the classroom, that your body language and body positioning really makes impact. Like if you hide behind a podium and you're short, not that I would know, people can really only see your head and it makes it really hard to pay attention to you. But anyways, I do have a few functional and practical tips that you can put in your nifty toolkit of things Chloe shares that makes your life easier. These are tips for public speaking that you can use in many settings. It's not general advice like preparation or knowing your audience, because that's a no-brainer. You gotta prepare. Practice with real people if you can. Simulate the fear and then it'll become second nature, just like brushing your teeth. But if you are a normal human being, which I hope you are, you probably don't have a lot of time to prepare. So in the limited time that you have, how do you prioritize your time to be the most effective? But if you're so swamped and you have no time to prepare, you might be able to fix that with today's sponsor, Vidcast from WebEx, a video messaging tool that makes it easy to record, edit, and share short videos for async collaboration. One of the hardest things about work is when it involves other people. Being a product manager in tech is like playing calendar Tetris on hard mode to get data, marketing, partnerships, and research all in one room for a meeting this week. Oh, I can't, I have a design crit. I gotta do user studies that day. Ugh! And as a content creator, I gotta work with a lot of freelancers who work with crazy time zones or schedules. Hey Roxy, do you have time to meet tonight to go over the video draft?
Oh no, I've got class tonight. Can we do tomorrow?
That's fine, I'll just send you a vidcast.
Cool.
With a vidcast, people can play back their videos at faster speeds to save time and share their comments or emojis for quick feedback, or even add chapters with timestamps. Send your first vidcast today with my unique link down below, and I don't know, maybe record a video introducing yourself and send to the Colors of Chloe Discord server. It'd be really cute. Thank you, Vidcast from WebEx, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. The first thing is always have a great hook. If you just walk in the room and say, hi, my name is Chloe and I'm here to talk about how to make the driving experience better, half the people in the room probably don't even know that you started talking. But if you walk in the room and you say, every year there are 100,000 car crashes caused by people falling asleep at the wheel, and we are going to change that. Girl, you have piqued my interest, you have my attention. You know, one of my favorite attention grabbing hooks is one time I was on a flight and the flight attendant got up and was like, did anyone lose a wallet? And you know, all of us definitely are looking up at her, and she's like, I sure hope not, but now that I have your attention, here's how you not die on this flight. Aside from a great start, you gotta have a great end too, because people really only remember the beginning and the end. Everything in the middle is a blur. So hit them with that strong call to action, because that's the whole point of you wasting your time getting up there to talk in front of these people in the first place. And if you ever forget what your next point is, just simply jump straight to the end, because no one's gonna be mad if your meeting ends early, you know? The next tip is use numbers. Organize your points into clear numbers. Be like, I got 5 tips for you today. I got 3 reasons why boba makes you a happier person. It helps set expectations on how much people need to pay attention to you, and it helps you remember how much you need to get through. Your eyes gotta be visible. Place your eyes closer to the camera and look like you're talking to the person who's listening. You ever see that one person in the meeting who has dual monitors and is looking at the other monitor and you could never really tell if they're doing something else or not? Yeah, that's low-key rude. And of course, in real life, it's a lot more nerve-wracking. So if you're on a stage and you're not super comfortable, start with looking at the line right above everyone's heads or in dead zones where there aren't many people. Don't look too high and don't look to the ground. People gotta know you're talking to them. And if you're trying to get more advanced, it's actually really effective if you look at the audience members in the eye one by one. Remember, you're not speaking at people, you're speaking with them. Have you ever been so nervous that you keep your sweaty hands in your pocket while talking? Both hands. Yeah, it's not a good look. Use your hands and place them right in front of you. Channel your inner Italian, because let the hands do the talking. Your hands are connected to your brain in a way where they help you figure out what you need to say next, especially on the days where your brain just don't work.
Have you ever had a dream that you
Just don't say it. Pause instead. Let yourself breathe a little and let your listeners absorb what you're saying. Actually, you know what's interesting? In these COVID times, I find myself saying more filler words because not all the time will people be able to see my face. So if I'm silent, people think I'm disconnected or that I'm done talking, but I'm actually not done talking. So visual cues and body language is very important. But yeah, in any ways, pauses are generally good. Use vocal expressions and inflections. I mean, if you're gonna sound excited talking about cleaning, then people are gonna get excited too because that's just how our monkey brains work.
Making tough stains disappear like magic.
And if you're talking real fast or real slow, your audience will feel that too. So generally speak slower.
You are speaking so fast. Slow it down.
Vocal expressions also include projecting your voice. I remember in college, someone once told me that I used to sound like Marcel the Shell.
My name is Marcel, and I'm partially a shell, as you can see on my body.
Because I sometimes just don't breathe when I speak. It sounds brittle, and people really gotta lean in to hear what I have to say. And it's real embarrassing when they're like, huh?
What did she say?
And I feel embarrassed. And in a chaotic meeting where we go with the loudest voice, I'm definitely gonna lose. So we gotta project. Like use our diaphragm, like the lady from Kung Fu Hustle who does that lion's roar thing. We gotta do that, but less in a meeting. And for the ESL kids like me who had a Fabi accent growing up, practicing to enunciate is so powerful. And I actually learned this by doing slam poetry and singing, where every vowel and consonant needs to be cared for. Like just channel your inner Leia Salonga because she is the queen of enunciation. And by the way, total tangent, I actually got to meet Leia virtually because I hosted her for an AAPI talk. And I got to meet the queen herself. And that was the peak of my life. Anyways, these are just some quick and dirty tips that you can keep at your disposal. But I do think that something important to keep in mind is why you're speaking in front of these people. Whether it's talking to your boss, your team, your class, or a bunch of randos on the internet, you have a voice that is meant to be heard. And there's one thing that I always remember from Simon Sinek, who's the author of Start With Why and does a bunch of TED Talks. He says, show up to give, not to take. It's really easy to see when a speaker is not a giver, but a taker. They come and talk about how they got 5 PhDs and they advise 50 companies and they name drop all the famous people that they know and they're like, this is why you should listen to me. And it's really about them and their ego and the attention that they want on them. And do you really want to listen to someone like that? Like, just imagine you sitting at the bar, minding your own business, and this guy walks up to you and is like, hey baby, I work at Goldman Sachs. Okay. Anyways, I think I speak the best when I'm very passionate about something and I want to share that with you. And to keep rewriting the narrative, keeping in mind what you care about, how you may be thinking, and how I can give to you. Always show up to give. Hopefully these tips makes your next presentation not so scary. I honestly have no idea how hard it is being a pandemic baby and never doing college or work in person. Talking behind a camera in your room is so different from speaking in front of people because then they can see every single pore on your face in real New Life Resolution. Kind of like this. I don't want your C, I don't want your C. But yeah, do you get nervous speaking these days? I remember public speaking was such a big thing for me. It's like the #1 fear that's more common than death. But I don't know if the online world changes that. Let me know what you think. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Outside of that, some Chloe updates. I am doing swell. I recently started publicly testing a new feature at work. Check out my Twitter post. I also drove down to San Diego and met up with Mayuko and Jeremiah Peoples, other content creators, and we filmed our first TikTok together. Yeah, that was a fun weekend. I've been trying some new hairstyles, and I bought the crimping tool that Gia used in Singles Inferno and tried waving my hair, and I think it turned out pretty cool. Oh, and I recently discovered iced matcha lattes. It is the one thing that is keeping my life together. Thank you to the Uniqlos who have been supporting me, and to VidCast by WebEx for sponsoring this video. That's all I've got for now. See you next time.